Welcome to all. This is Aris LaTham, the recognized father of ethical gourmet raw food cuisine, based on the acclamation I received from the Oxford Encyclopedia of Food and Drink. I'd like to really extend to you a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me here at Semana de Alimentación Viva. This program is especially designed for all of you that are inclined to consider a living food lifestyle. And it really gives me particular privilege to be able to be a part of this program to share alongside all of the other distinguished educators that are bringing you really life-saving information. I am here at present in Peru, and here in Peru I really would say that this is truly the capital of mega nutrition when it comes to the global natural food scene. The choices here are just unbounded. And particularly for what I'm sharing with you, it is quite appropriate to share it with you from this particular perspective, from the point of view of Peru. Peru, the land of ancient food civilizations, with the Inca Empire that has brought us so much wonderful agricultural foundations for us to really do some of the things that we're doing today. And particularly here in Peru today, there's quite a bit of boundless, offerings of fresh food. As you could see here in my kitchen in Lima, in Miraflores, where I am being hosted by the Árbol de la Vida. We're doing some presentations on food preparation and orthomolecular nutrition as it relates to living food. We're also having a retreat here, a living food retreat, a detox program, and there's no better place to do it when it comes to the food options that are available to detox the body. So from the point of view of orthomolecular nutrition, which is basically centered around the whole idea of feeding the body on a certain level so that it can really recalibrate itself. There's so much that we need to consider when it comes to our mental clarity, our moods, and how food plays a role in all of this. So we're really talking about optimum nutrition for life, when it comes to looking at it from the orthomolecular perspective. We're ultimately really talking about nutritional chemistry that supports, our life. It's really very, very effective when we look at the body the way it is recognized today as a temple of disease, and looking to detox or cleanse the body, to heal the body. First, we must allow the body to have that fighting chance. We must readjust the chemistry of the body. And in readjusting the chemistry of the body, a juice detox is very effective. A juice detox is very important, because here in doing a juice detox, what we want to do is really rid the body of unwanted waste. So along with providing optimal nutritional concentration, the orthomolecular approach also deals with detoxification, because they really come hand in hand. As it is said in ancient tradition, our food shall be our medicine, and our medicine shall be our food. So to remove toxic molecules from our individual body, there's no better way to do it than to just flush it out. And it's safe, it's effective, and beyond all of that, it's very reasonable. And it's something that we can do ourselves, to be able to remove heavy metals, lead, mercury, aluminum, arsenic, and all of these things through a natural juice flush, natural juice detoxification, giving the body fresh nutrients from plants, fruits, vegetables, leaves, roots, you name it, that are bounded with minerals, vitamins, phytochemicals, electrolytes, all of the unseeing and very powerful elements that we actually eat food for. And this is really one of the reasons why most of us are quite ill today, because we are lacking in these very powerful micronutrients and things of that level that is not facilitated by the traditional basically meat and potato, bean and rice lifestyle that we have been dealing with primarily today. So this approach is just a very vigilant, attempt to identify, chemicals in the environment, toxins in the environment, toxins that come through our diet, which, may affect us in very negative ways, such as things that are found, elements that are found in things like wheat and rye and barley, these gluten bound products, which create, quite a bit of challenge in our intestinal system. So because they destroy the villi in the system that creates malabsorption of vital nutrients that are required to really activate neurotransmitters, like dopamine and serotonin. So when it comes to the whole issue of neurotransmitters, the imbalances and defects that we find based on these neurotransmitters having been affected, may be classified as mental illness and other issues that may not really necessarily be the proper classification, because then there's quite a few of medical intrusion that ends up taking place. So, to think that someone has something wrong with their mind because first of all, the brain is part of the body, and this physical organ, the brain, requires proper molecular chemistry in order to work effectively. So since the brain houses our thoughts and, it's the coordinator for our senses, a chemically imbalanced or toxic brain will express itself by disordered thoughts, anger, anxiety, depression, and things like that, sensory disturbances, hallucinations, and things of that nature. And then, then the medical invasion starts to take place. So I think it's important, though, that we look at the diet relationship, for optimal health. This is something that has been happening throughout recorded history by some of, the greatest recognized practitioners. Number one being Imhotep, who came out of ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, And a lot of his knowledge was studied by people like Hippocrates and Pythagoras, So we're talking, over 2,500 years ago, up to 5,000 years ago, where records have shown that specific foods were used to treat medical conditions, especially, psychological conditions. So why not do that today? We have quite a vast array of foods available to us that have not only nutritional values, but also have quite a bit of very powerful medicinal or healing qualities of as well. One of society's modern, genius, Linus Pauling, has expressed this. And this is where we get the whole beginning of the approach of orthomolecular nutrition based on his observations. So basically, it's all about varying the concentrations of the substances that are normally present in the human body to control diseases, basically. So if it's a certain vitamin that is lacking, that creates a certain condition, a certain minerals that is lacking, or toxins that are irritating the system, that are leaving waste behind, that are blocking, congesting, and stagnating, then there is foods. There are foods that have what it takes to unclog, to open up, the channel, to remedy, the situation, whether it's affecting the brain, it's affecting some other organ, the kidneys, the lungs, you name it. So rather than using these powerful synthetic drugs, which basically, has been proven to really not be that effective, that powerful, they just really control and suppress, symptoms, pretty much more so than doing anything else. So, Dr. Pauling has reached the conclusion that, it is best to treat people with this nutritional science, which he terms as orthomolecular therapy. And there's really today the advent of the living food diet, the living food lifestyle, the raw food, culture. Really, it's quite timely because there's no other approach to eating, to dining, to feasting, to gorging on food, or just simply just taking care of one's basic, nutritional need. There's no better approach that brings together or typifies, the values of the science of orthomolecular nutrition, which basically it just aims to restore, the optimum environment of the body by correcting the imbalances of deficiencies based on the individual's biochemistry, using substances natural to the body such as vitamins, minerals, amino acids, trace elements, and fatty acids. And these all can be found in food. So rather than just subscribing to, the nutritional supplements that have been processed, manufactured, which works quite well in many cases, but we can step back a little further and just deal with the food, deal with the whole food, deal with the whole plant before it has been processed. So the key idea, in this type of nutrition approach is that, genetic factors affect not only the physical characteristics of the individual, but also their biochemical makeup. So biochemical pathways of the body have significant genetic variability, and diseases such as arteriosclerosis, cancer, schizophrenia, or depressions are associated with specific biochemical abnormalities, which are causal or combining factors of practically all illnesses. So, here we go forward now, looking to, protect and enhance our health through natural remedies, fresh remedies, live foods, fresh juices that are made from leaves, from fruits, from tubers that contain these minerals, these phytochemicals, the vitamins, and all of these elements, the trace elements, the fatty acids contain all of these things. And not only in a juice form, but just even in a salad, in a blended form, using nut meats and pâtés and soups and shakes and you name it. Here we go. Nature's pharmacy. Just straight out of the land, straight from the bush. So, one doctor, I believe his name was Abram Hoffer, puts it quite clearly. He says, orthomolecular treatment does not lend itself to rapid drug-like controlled symptoms, but patients get well to a degree not seen by tranquilizer therapies, who believe orthomolecular therapists are prone to exaggeration. So many of these traditional medical doctors, institutions feel that orthomolecular scientists are really off, which is fine if they want to go that route. But now here we are, the living food movement or the living food science that have taken now orthomolecular to another level where we don't have to necessarily look at it as medicine. We're just looking at it strictly as food, because that's all we're dealing with is food. And it's basically all about fresh food, So, it's about getting into the gut of the human being, looking at hormones and neurotransmitters, which are generated in the gut and interact with our organs, such as the lungs and the heart. So there's a lot of research out there that are showing how the gut affects the bodily functions, even beyond the digestive system. So the gut is the pit. This is where it all brews. This is where it all boils. This is where it all churns. So it's all about what you eat that we have to look at. So there's studies that are supporting this. There's studies that are shown very direct links, from the gut's health to bone formation, to learning and memory, and to even conditions including Parkinson's disease and so forth and so on, even up to in these days, research have shown, that we just disrupting the stomach or intestinal bacteria can prompt depression and anxiety. And this has been shown in lab rats, quite a few times. So better understanding the communication between the gut and the brain and the rest of the body could really help to reveal and show the causes and treatments of a whole range of ailments and provide, doctors with really what it takes to move beyond where we're going, So a lot of these mental diseases, a lot of these diseases that affect, critical organs don't have to be treated the way they have been treated. There are people like myself, today who are living examples. I am 69 years old, and or actually 69 years of being, neither old nor young necessarily, but I'm not ill, as my other contemporaries at similar age or close age, even younger than me, are really, suffering from a whole array of life-threatening diseases. Consuming all fresh, living plant foods for the past 40 years have brought me into a position where I have really, shown the value of eating this way to defend your life. you know, I started off doing this back in the 1960s. It's been 46 years now, where since I've not consumed any animal products whatsoever. So my body is very low. The toxic level of my body is very low. My body is very low in toxemia. And toxemia is definitely, the root cause of practically most diseases, especially life-threatening diseases that are facing humanity today. So to follow these examples of not only myself, but other people who have come before me and other people who are walking alongside me, practicalizing this lifestyle, it's quite a wealth, for humanity to take a minute and stop and listen and observe. The same way we give the doctors, the medical institutions, a certain type of respect. We need to give nature, we need to give life, equal level of respect, and observe, what is going on. The power of life, the power of nature, the power of the plants, to be able to do these types of things for us and bring us into a certain level where, people like myself at this age is not suffering from, or being threatened by Alzheimer's and, other mental issues or cancer and things of that nature. So eating raw foods is natural. We've come on this planet, we've been on this planet, for at least 1 million years without, and survive marvelously without the use of fire for probably hundreds of thousands of years before we figured out the use of fire. So obviously we never ate no cooked foods prior to the advent of fire. So our bodies thrive best on fresh and vital nutrition. So a raw food diet, or increasing the amount of raw food that you don't have to necessarily go 100%, is actually definitely going to make you feel better, look better, and also increase your level of well-being. This is something that, there's no doubt about, there's no denying. This is something that is seen every day today in hundreds of thousands of people who are subscribing and adapting or adopting to this lifestyle, that are showing how, marvelous it is to free themselves of certain life-threatening disease just through basically cutting out, devitalized foods, highly processed, chemicalized foods, animal products, animal flesh and things of that nature, and increasing the amount of fresh, living plant foods. So these are unprocessed foods, or uncooked foods as you know it, as you know cooking, because these foods are actually been cooked by the sun, and we definitely want them to be organic, as much organic as possible. That is our objective, is to have them grown without chemical fertilizers and pesticides and things of that nature, besides being unprocessed. So we're really basically talking about fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, some dried fruits, fresh juices, and even water from coconut. The young coconut, this is like really great, pristine, highly mineralized water that has minerals in an organic form that the body can utilize, loads of electrolytes. We're talking about foods that are high in phytochemicals, friendly bacteria and things of this nature to protect the body, to allow the body to really have a fighting chance to pretty much heal itself. So basically we're talking about a vegetarian diet, foods that vegetate. We're not talking about fish. We're not talking about dairies. We're not talking about eggs and cheese and milks and things of that nature. These foods, they promote life. Living foods promote life. They contain the maximum amount of fiber. That especially, just looking at simple raw produce, tomatoes and lettuce and cucumbers and apples and pineapples, and pears and peaches and spinach, highly high fiber foods, and these fibers have not been lost through the processing, through the cooking and the boiling and the baking and the microwaving and things of that nature, and even through freezing that does affect the fiber in foods. So these foods are easily metabolized in the body, and they also tend to be lower in calories, than the average diet. So the point is to not to heat these foods above, say, 118, 120 degrees, as low as 115 is great, so that we don't destroy the enzymes, we don't destroy the life-giving force in the foods that actually aids in their digestion and the absorption of the foods in our body, because cooking, besides destroying these vital elements, they also destroy the nutritional value of the food as well. So we really need to be extremely careful as we approach this lifestyle, and understand that also when we consuming foods like this now, after consuming the standard traditional, meat and potato style diet, is that, hey, now this food that is coming into our body, we're talking particularly or primarily any fresh fruits, vegetables, grains, seeds, beans, nuts, legumes, young coconut, the milk or water from the young coconut, and even seaweeds and things of this nature. These are the things that are on our menu. So your choice may depend on certain factors, and you may even want to use things like sprouted brown rice, cabbage, which supports cellular function. The glucose in the brown rice helps to improve the metabolism and its absorption, and the cabbage in the form of, say, a sauerkraut, helps support healthy cellular function, and also the things like the radishes and some of these hot foods and pungent, powerful foods have a lot of antioxidants, so they really help protect our cellular, the function of our cells of the body. There are certain other foods, plant foods, direct common foods like carrots, which are a great source of vitamin A, and they help to protect our vision as well, and also our cardiovascular system. So if we look at pretty much every single fresh plant food, we're going to find, there's medicine in these foods. It's not unusual when you start eating a lot of fruits that you start having diarrhea, you start having the runs, you start having some cleansing naturally, but many of us tend to misinterpret that and feel that these foods are having a negative effect on our body because we're not used to doing so much evacuation. So, sprouts, another great bountiful of foods. Sprouts themselves, especially, we're talking about using organic seeds, which are, they have great levels of vitamins, minerals, proteins, trace minerals, chlorophyll, that green pigment, in sprouts. When they're exposed to sunlight, the enzymes, these are all basically and ideally natural supplements. So, we can do this on a practical level, on a home-based level. We don't have to have all of the sophisticated, expensive packaged products, and this is one of the dangers also that I see even creeping into the living food culture as well. A lot of the living foods are not living anymore. There's so much dehydrated, powdered, processed things. Yes, some may be superfood. That's fine. Those you take in small amounts. They supplement your basic eating, your basic diet, the basic, lettuce and tomatoes and apples and pears and peaches and quinoa, grains, fine grains, the nuts, the seeds, and things like that. When you start reaching for some little powder called superfoods or whatever it may call, then you're really just supplementing. Those are not, solid stuff that you can eat, a big bowl of maca, concentrated. But besides being super expensive, we also have to be careful how we approach it. Smaller amounts, not only of superfoods and all of these energy boosters and things like that, but even small amounts of meals, period. The days of, gorging on a big, flowing plate, with lots of carbs and fats, and proteins and things like that. Those days are over. Look at where it has gotten us. We're obese. We're like beasts, really. And besides that, we're sick. Humanity is sick. So, add sprouts to salads and soups. You could sprout lentils, just soak them for 12 hours, drain them, rinse them, leave it in a colander and allow them to sprout for 2, 3, 4 days, just rinsing them twice a day. You do this with other legumes, you do it with grains, and your seeds and nuts, they just simply need to be soaked. Pre-soaked for 12 hours to activate them, to remove the enzyme inhibitors. So these things, and the sprouts, which you can juice, I would juice my alfalfa. We have some alfalfa sprouts here. I put alfalfa sprouts in my juice, in my vegetable juice. We have some onion sprouts here. Excellent. We have radish sprouts. These red radish. Actually, these are clover sprouts. Red clover sprouts. These are excellent to put in juices. So we add these to our vegetable juices. We add them with our lettuce. Our lettuce. We have spinach. We have tomatoes. These are things. These are the base of our juices. We have carrots, you name it, red cabbage. Here is some baby arugula. I juice these arugula in with my juices, in with my vegetable juices. These are the things, so these fresh juices, they're great, ready energy supplies and good quality nutrients. So just get yourself a good juice extractor and just bounce around, just drop stuff in there, just put whatever you like, to get things going. Here I am right now as I talk with you. I'm sipping and enjoying myself a nice big glass of juice. This here I made first thing this morning. This juice has grapes. We use the Muscat grapes, those wonderful aromatic Italian grapes are in this juice. So I just put the grapes in the blender without the stems. Just blend it for like 10 seconds just to break it down a little bit, create a nice water base in the blender. Then I put tangerines, peel the tangerines, drop them in the blender with those grapes, just blend it lightly for about another 10 seconds, loosens it up real good. Then I pour those out into a press cloth, and I just press it. I just squeeze it by hand press, cold press. You talking about it? Press it out. Then that pressed grape tangerine juice, I reintroduce it back into my blender with papaya. You know, papaya is really the food. You know, this is one of the best. You know, to me, this is a superior food. Papaya is pure enzymes. Papain is loaded with papain. So I blend papaya in the blender with my tangerine grape juice, and this is what I have. I have a papaya tango, you know. So, you know, what a great combination. Hydrates me and really takes me to the next level. So the things that we have available to us today. Now, this food here, this is a very special food. You know, it's important for us to look at these types of foods. You know, we need to get out of our box. We need to get out of our community. We need to see what the global community has to offer us. This is a fruit that I get here in Peru. It's called sanqui. Sanqui is a cactus fruit. So here, look at it. It's just like the it's in the family of the dragon fruit. You know, the pitaya. You know, this fruit is just marvelous. When you're looking for a cleanser, this is it. You know, so I would combine sanqui in a salad with plantain. Sanqui, plantains, and tomatoes make an excellent salad. So here you have a healing combination that you can enjoy as a meal. You know, you can enjoy it as a meal. So to be able to fuse these superior foods is where it's at. Here, where I am also in Peru, I have access to this algae. This is a sea algae. Actually, this is an algae from a lake. You know, look at it. Great trace minerals, micro minerals. So I would blend that in with a green juice. You know, this is one of the things about having access to the global market. Here, this button here, this is an artichoke button. One of those super artichokes that are grown here in Peru. And we eat this raw. Raw. This is meat. This is plant meat. So you don't need to eat the animal-based meats that are loaded with cholesterol that clogs up your system. You know, besides that, here we also have olives. The miracle that olives can perform for your system. The oil, the fat in olive, the lubrication, the protein, the building value of olives, you know, plant-based foods. You know, this is where it's at. This is what we really like to always highlight when it comes to orthomolecular nutrition. You can get it just like this. Spinach leaves, a spinach juice, spinach with cucumber. What a combination. You're talking about a detoxer, minerals, chlorophyll. You know, not only detoxes the body, but rebuilds it and strengthens it automatically. So it gives the immune system that fighting chance that we've been looking for. You know, we've been abusing our immune system. We've been ripping off our enzyme bank, eating foods that are cooked, that are devitalized, that cannot assist in their own digestion. So our body has to produce an excessive amount of digestive enzymes to process these foods, these vital-less foods. You know, so in doing that, we're ripping off our enzyme bank. We're robbing from our life. So now our immune system becomes compromised. It cannot defend ourselves against unfriendly bacteria. against diseases. So this is where we are. This is what we need to do. These are the steps. This is this kitchen here, the way we have set this up, this is actually a pharmacy. We're actually in a pharmacy when you're in a kitchen like this. When you see all of these green leaves, this chlorophyll and scallions, the anise, the celery, these vibrant, rich mineral foods, high in iron, parsley, basil, cilantro, bok choy, hey, and even this gem, this magic right here, you need to see what this is. You may not have seen it, in its original form before. So I need you to see what this is here. So I'll bring it up close to you. Here. This is coca leaf. This is coca leaf. You're talking about an energizer. This is an energizer. Coca leaves are an energizer. So we take the coca leaf and blend it with the sanki and cucumber. We're talking green gold. Sanki, cucumber, and coca leaves. Look, cucumber is nothing but a sugarless watermelon. You're talking about a great hydrator, a wonderful cleanser, and this powerhouse of the sanki to cleanse the blood, to cleanse the system, and then this energizer of the coca leaf. We're full of energy. We're full of vitality, but also we're cleaning out. We're clearing out, brain food in the way of cabbage, of cauliflower. The whole cruciferous vegetable family, cauliflower, cabbage, and broccoli, these are anti-carcinogenic. So what we do, we take the cabbage and we process it, we grind it down, and use it to make sauerkraut. So the sauerkraut, after setting it for 5 days, it's high in enzymes. Yes, the sauerkraut juice made from the red cabbage. We take that sauerkraut, we take that red cabbage, grind it up, we set it in a crock. For 5 days, we put an apple in there to absorb the acid that is going to be released. And when we uncover it, we have this sauerkraut, wonderful cultured food. We take that sauerkraut and run it through a juice extractor, and we get cabbage juice. Wow, you're talking a lot of friendly bacteria there. We take that cabbage juice and we use it as a pickling source. So we put in the cabbage juice, we put cauliflower, we put cucumber, we put broccoli, we put beets and carrots and things like that. That you're going to use the cabbage juice now as the culture base to pickle, to ferment, the other vegetables, to increase the digestibility of these vegetables, especially the cruciferous vegetables, because just eating them raw in their whole state, they're very high in sulfur and they're going to produce a lot of gas. So there's a little science to how we can work with these foods and go beyond some of the inconveniences that we may experience from them, not knowing how to process them effectively, and that's why some of us just opt to just cooking them. Just steaming the cabbage, blanching the broccoli and steaming the cauliflower and things like that, trying to neutralize, that gaseous effect from the sulfur that are found in these foods. But in this live food culture that humanity is experiencing today, we can take these things and go beyond the ordinary with them and move them to a level where the body can really utilize them much more effectively without the inconveniences. We have a very wonderful herb here, thyme. Thyme leaves. Thyme is on our side. What we could do with thyme, the healing value of thyme. So all you need to do is in your juice, your soup, just put some thyme leaves in there. And, I can go through thousands of plant foods, but of course we don't have the luxury to do that in this short presentation. So you can do your research. Just go online and look up the medicinal value of thyme. Look up the medicinal value of basil. That aroma in basil, that aroma has some healing energy in them. Look up the medicinal value of hot peppers. Now, this is a wonderful hot pepper here. This one is one of the. Here, let's give you an idea what this looks like on the inside. Look at that, with those black seeds. It's hot. It's not wicked spicy hot, but here in Peru, this is the rocoto, the vitamin C and the energy that you get from a hot pepper like this is just beyond reach. So here, where we are organizing for our presentation here, we're going to use this tomorrow in a soup. We're going to do an excellent tomato soup with some rocoto in it. So experiment, at your base with these types of food, with hot pepper. Great for the circulatory system. So if you have, high cholesterol and stuff like that, you want to burst through that pipe, break down some of that dried calcified starch from all of the cooked carbohydrates that you've been eating. Put some hot pepper down in there. And also another things you might want to put down that pipe is some turmeric, fresh turmeric root. Hey, curcuma, this is it, man. You're talking, wow. The smell, the color, and all of these things. This is a serious doctor here. This is Dr. Root, as far as I'm concerned. And you could team that up with a piece of the wonderful ginger. Quillon, here they call it, jengibre in Spanish. Wow, a little bit of that in your soup. Who needs anything else to heat up a soup? Here, Mr. Garlic. Look at that. Look at our shape. Look at that. Look at that. That point. How that ball comes into. A root vegetable with no starch in it, but it's a deodorizer, a disinfectant. Lots of garlic. You're talking about really clearing up the respiratory tract. With things like garlic and ginger and onions and these types of things, mucus, breaks mucus down, just barrels it out, So, hey, as I say, this is limitless here, as we look further along with what we have brought to share with you here, my goodness, it's unspeakable what nature has to offer us. We have these wonderful berries here, and we're going to combine them. These are the gooseberries. We're combining them with avocados. The power, this friendly fat that is found in avocado lowers cholesterol. Look it up. Combined with gooseberries to make a goose guac. Guacamole with gooseberry, or goose guac, hey, wonderful combination. You don't need no lemons or anything else like that. I would just put a little tomato in here and some cilantro, and here I got, the powerhouse of a healer. You have this great fat, as opposed to, the trans fats that we use, those saturated fats, those fats that has been hydrogenated, the margarine and the mayonnaise and all of these vegetable oils, that have been pumped up with hydrogen molecule that the body just cannot break down. Hey, This is your answer. Nature made it perfect for you. And it comes to us through a food factory. The actual avocado tree is a factory. You know, where this one came from, there's at least 300 more came from the same tree. Look at that. That's quite an engineering, feat that nature has done to produce a tree, to create a tree that would produce loads of these fruits every year, 40, 50, 60 years of just constant production with no working involved. And look at the magic that seals it. You take this fruit and you cut it in half, and what you find in the middle? Another tree, an avocado seed, an avocado pit. This here is the making of another tree. So you imagine one tree yielding 300 more trees. My goodness, something is wrong with the way the cards have been stacked up against us as human beings, as consumers. This planet should be overrun with medicine, with food like this. We should have more avocados rather than less. There should be no starvation on this planet. There should be no disease on this planet if we follow the natural order of life and deal with our inbred, natural setup of orthomolecular nutrition. You saw the papaya. Look at it again. You see those papaya seeds. I could see about 200 papaya seeds just there. And this is half of the one papaya. And each seed is another potential tree. Can you imagine? Can you imagine these tree foods? The power, the power of tomato. You take a tomato and you see how much seeds are in that tomato. More tomato vines on the way. Why are we hungry? Why are we starving? The varieties. Look at the variety here of this tomato here. This one is called a tree tomato, or sacha tomate here in Peru. Look at that. I put this in my seasoning, in a nut meat. I season a nut meat with this medicine, and I put some chives, sacha tomate, combined in a dish with almonds. Imagine an almond nut meat with sacha tomate and chives combined together with I would put a piece of garlic in there. I would also put a piece of onion in there. I put a piece of celery in there. And here I have a great almond nut meat that very high in protein, rich in calcium, very filling, very nourishing, that I don't have to be concerned that I'm going to have an issue with cholesterol by eating this protein, by consuming the fat that is found in this protein. I don't have an issue with cholesterol by eating any of these foods that are found in my pharmacy today, because these foods don't produce, or they don't have cholesterol. I have one marvelous one here, the coconut. This is the mature coconut. We took the shell off, that brown hard shell that you're used to seeing, but this mature coconut, this coconut meat, wow, you're talking rich, great protein. We take this coconut meat, cut it up, run it through a juice extractor, and we get fresh coconut cream. Creme de la creme. There's no better cream than the fresh cream that comes from this coconut. So I use this instead of coconut oil. And this is where that raw food community is really mistreating our humanity. selling you coconut oil rather than selling you on you going to the market and buying a coconut yourself, and you buying a juicer and you juicing your coconut and you get fresh coconut oil. When you juice this coconut and that cream comes out without water, you're getting fresh coconut oil. Lubricates the system. You get a great friendly fat, unsaturated fat that the body can utilize, and it also helps the body to produce friendly cholesterol as well. Wonderful food. It's the processing that we're trying to avoid. So to transfer that processing mentality from the corrupt food diets that we've been brought up with, and to transfer that into the living food kingdom, we need to be careful. We need to serve humanity better than that. So people, make your own coconut oil. Make it fresh. Make it in that fresh cream. And you're going to see you will not want to use any other fat in your diet, in terms of processed oils and things of that nature. That fresh coconut cream, the taste, the flavor. Oh, it knocks coconut oil out of the box, which is usually rancid most of the time anyway, because of the way it's been processed and the way it's been packaged and sold to us. Here down in this corner of our table, we have a few also great goody stuff that helps the body on a totally different level. We have this here, which in Peru it is called Rosa de Jamaica, or sorrel, Jamaica rose here. Wow, vitamin C, we use that to make a drink with ginger, perfect combination. We have these small little wicked hot peppers. You're talking some fireballs. These little miniature sunshines here are powerful fireballs. Get that circulatory system moving. So we put it in a juice. Wow. With cucumber, tomato, celery, beets, carrot, and a little piece of ginger. Wow. Bust up, the congestion, the clogging that's been, unbugging our system. This opens it up, it opens it up. My favorite here, indispensable, the young coconut. The young coconut. The water from this young coconut is what we call agua viva, pure living water. Has more electrolytes than any other food in its natural state. High source of minerals in an organic form. This water here is unbeatable, untouchable. And not only this water, but the water from all our plant foods. Juices. When you're talking about orthomolecular nutrition, my supplementation is juices. So if there's something not happening in my diet, with my foods, and it's lacking because it's growing on soil that is depleted and all of these other things, I just give myself a boost by drinking juice. This is my booster. So I drink, at least a good 8 glasses of these a day. A half a gallon, of juice. Fruit juice, vegetable juice, coconut water. You can't juice enough. You can't juice enough. This is serious orthomolecular nutrition. Juices. Red juice, green juice, yellow juice, orange juice, purple juice, even black juice. You could take that black rice, soak it, sprout it, blend it, wild rice, seaweeds. You could blend up your seaweeds in, say, some black sesame seed milk. Get the black sesame seed loaded with irons, calcium, proteins, and you name it. Blend that black sesame seed with some coconut water, press it out, get that milk, drop some seaweeds in there, blend that up. You're talking serious energy. Loads of iodine. Lithium. for the brain. Lithium for the brain, you know. Very powerful mineral that you could produce yourself through your foods. Pretty much all these minerals. We also have, from our bounty here in Peru, we have the lucuma. Lucuma, a very powerful fruit, rich protein, a superfood. You have the cacao, you have the quinoa, you have the camu camu, you have maca, so much. I mean, it's like here we have two different types of maca. These are the royal maca, one for the female, one for the male. The red one is for the female. The black one, or the other maca, is for the male. You're talking fertility, you're talking potency, works on those organs, really kick them up, you know, in a certain kind of way. This comes from a fruit, noni juice. The noni is a cellular detoxifier. So to get the noni juice and put that in our system, gets toxins out of all of our cells. Here, this is a little slim giant here. You know, let me open up the package so you can get a better look here, a better view of what we're talking about. Yeah, we'll take it out of our wrapper. It's very precious. This one little bean here. This is a bean. It's a vanilla bean. The vanilla bean is an orchid. It's an orchid. The energy, the vibration in this, you're talking antioxidant to the max. You know, so you take that vanilla bean and you just slit it. Just barely, just cut it, you know, just barely just cut it open and scrape out in there those little black beans. That's the flavor. That's what we put in our nut milks, our pies, our cakes, cookies, and all of these things, rather than vanilla extract, vanilla flavoring, and things of that nature. You know, fresh, all the way fresh, totally live. This is what it's all about. So we're talking about a cuisine that I originated, which is known as sun-fired foods, or sun-fired Ra foods, R-A foods. You know, Ra stands for the sun in ancient Kemetic or Egyptian language. You know, Ra foods mean foods that have been cooked by the sun. You know, here in Spanish we call it Cocina del Sol. The sun is our chef. Nature is our kitchen. You know, so the growing period is the cooking process. You know, so the time the food takes to grow in the field till the time we have a mature, ready to eat. You know, perfect example is our plantain. When that plantain is ripe and ready, you are talking about well done, perfectly cooked, living food. So to actually do what many ignorant ones do, they fry it, bake it, boil it, steam it, beat it, pound it. They kill it, thinking that they're improving on Mother Nature's work. The plantain is ready to eat, perfectly done, cooked to creation. So we slice it up, marinate it with a little lemon juice, add some sliced coconut jelly to there. You can dehydrate the jelly, put a little seasoning on the coconut jelly, dehydrate it so it becomes a little crunchy, so it has that bake on, you know, vibration on it. Sprinkle that in with your plantain, with some scallions and cilantro, and, you know, chop up some seaweeds and put in there a little coconut cream. Why not? You know, since we like plantain swimming in oil, let's swim it with some coconut cream. Drop a little curry powder in there, and hey, some lemon juice, and you're good to go. You're talking about, you know, what they may call here in Peru a ceviche. Ceviche de plátano, plantain ceviche, or escovitch, as you know it through the French vibration, escovitch planting. So instead of having an escovitch fish, we escovitch the plantain. We put that seaweed in there so we get all that iodine that is great to offset the effect of radiation. So if you're like hanging with the cell phone, the computer, the television, and all this stuff for too many hours every day, you need to counteract that the effect of that radiation. And nothing does it better than these algae, seaweeds, especially the ones that are high in iodine. The dulse is perfect for that. So, hey, there's so much and so much and so much and so much that I can share with you. And, my objective, though, is really just to be here with you for a short time to offer you these gems, so that you can get your orthomolecular nutrition act together, so that you can get your kitchen vibrating. Kick it up, turn it on, and turn it out. Get your appliances, your food processor, juicer, blender, dehydrator. We got that black box there in the corner. That's the dehydrator, food dehydrator. It takes moisture out. So you end up making pies and cakes and cookies and crackers and biscuits and breads, all of those comfort foods with the crunch, and the puff and the cushiony flavor or texture that most of us look for when we go to breads and crackers and chips and cookies and those things that are really hurting us. Those processed foods with the trans fats in them and all of the gluten, all of the cholesterol with the butter, the milk, the eggs, and not to speak of the refined processed sugar and these types of things, and hey, the tons of chemicals that are in the foods. Be careful. You got to come home. So this is an invitation for you to come home. Come on home to self. Step up, to living foods. So there's a lot that this Semana de Alimentación Viva has to offer you, has to offer your family. It's a bounty of information, and I try to make it practical for you. I am here to give you information that you could use right now. I am not here to sell you a product. I'm not here to sell you a package. I'm not here to sell you a solution in a drop. This is a big road. It's a long road. It's a steep hill. It's a big climb. But hey, you're never too late to start the walk. So get on it, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking. As one of my great philosophers said, forward ever, and backwards never. The great Marcus Garvey from Jamaica proclaimed that, as it applied to, the racial, cultural, ethnic, movement of the time to get African people to, throw off the yoke, of certain oppressive, lifestyles or people. This is what we're looking for you to do today. Humanity. Throw off the yoke of the big cartels that hijacked our food basket. Throw off the yoke of the multi-mega nations, multi-nation mega food companies that are just selling you processed, devitalized, packaged products that are only designed to make you sick and make them rich. So wake up, you mighty people. You can accomplish what you will. You can accomplish what you will. Another great saying by Marcus Garvey. Wake up, you mighty people. You can be healthy. You can be well. You don't have to be sick. Sickness is not a part of human nature. It's not a part of living. It is based on a system that perpetuates profit, greed, and subjugation. So let's throw all of this stuff off, get back to the land, grow your food, or support your local farmer who is growing for you since you are busy doing other things to support that local farmer in your community. Support that local farmer. Buy organic, eat organic, breathe organic. The air, the water, all of these things, these are basically part of our human rights. And there's no other way to defend yourself than to make sure you have clean, good, fresh food, air, and water. That way, you're not going to get sick. It's not part of nature's plan. And if you do, nature has the medicine for you in your food. So your food is your medicine, and your medicine is your food, according to Imhotep, the first father of medicine, who taught everyone else, as he was the first one to observe that the blood circulates in the human body. He said, eat foods that are going to help promote the circulation of your blood. So it's all about eat, drink, and be merry. Because if your food don't bring you merriment, it ain't for you. You're eating the wrong thing. So wake up. This is a one-way street. Once you start to live this way and you start to eat this way and you just radiate, glow, and be well and healthy, you're going to find that you can't go back. Because the minute you go back, those warning signals are going to be smacking you. You'll be sneezing and coughing and all kinds of stuff going on when you start eating bad food. So we experienced that already in our lives. All the childhood diseases, all the colds, all the fevers, all the flus, and all of these things, they were all part of the warning signal to let you know you're not eating right. You're putting garbage in your system. You're filling it up with waste. So now what we want to do, we want to address our system from the point of view of a orthomolecular nutrition scientist. We want to take our food and let them provide us what we need to heal the body, to strengthen the body, to rejuvenate the body, to vitalize the body so that we can live the optimum healthy life. So again, thanks so much for this wonderful opportunity to come home with you, share with you, and welcome you back home to self. I am Aris LaTham, the sun-fired gourmet, the originator of sun-fired foods and paradise pie, recognized by the Oxford Encyclopedia as the father of ethical gourmet raw food cuisine. So visit me at sunfired.com and stay tuned to all the rest that is coming your way on Semana de Alimentación Viva. This is it. This is the channel. This is the medium. This is the vehicle that's going to help you to free yourself from disease. You really don't have to be sick. And I know that because based on all of my experience, I have realized that it's really not the food, all of that food in my life, but truly it's really about the life in my food that nourishes. So if you want true nutrition, you got to keep it live. Living foods is the way to go. Alimentación viva. Aquí estamos otra vez con ustedes. Gracias por esta oportunidad de compartir la alimentación viva de la cocina del sol, de Sun-Fired Foods. See you next time. Happy living, happy life, and a healthy life to you, the family, and your community. Peace.